Teaching 125. Here I am in your home, speaking to you through your conscience, because I am your judge. I have entrusted you all with a mission, and today I come to ask you, what have you done with it? I have not come at this time secretly. My spiritual manifestation was announced from the earliest times, therefore you should not be surprised. Why then was no one watching, awaiting my arrival? Who cleaned his house so that I could come into it? Who washed his hands to break bread at the table? Who filled his heart with love to receive me? No one, yet here I am fulfilling my promise to you. If I come to teach you to keep a promise, understand that it is fair that you take my example and fulfill your mission. Beloved people, when you hear that I demand of you, remember that having received the task of watching over world peace, you have not had peace, so you have asked me, Lord, if I am watching and praying, why does peace not come to the nations? And I tell you why, it is not enough to pray, but also to do meritorious works. Already the prophets gave their blood to announce the truth to you, you already had me made man on earth, to live among you a perfect passion, and the apostles and the martyrs gave their lives for love of humanity. Now it is time for you to take up your cross and fulfill your mission, so that you may behold the coming of peace. People, open your heart and wake up from the deep sleep in which you live. Fight and do not be doubtful. If you contemplate the endless desert that you cross, I tell you that in the middle of it, when the sun burns your faces the most, a cloud will appear whose presence will make you feel very close to your heart. In the bottom of your heart you tell me that you are not worthy of my grace or my peace. And why are you not worthy? I have placed all of nature within your reach so that you can serve me better. I have showered you with gifts and blessings so that your life may be more placid and a hymn of love rises up from your heart towards me. Today I have to tell you, make your life simple so that you have time to think about your brothers. Only in this way will you be able to provide your spirit with the opportunity to free itself from the materialism that surrounds it and to fulfill its mission of loving and serving its Lord, in its fellow men. Fight, my children, for the cause of peace and fraternity, but do not believe that you see victory near, that is still distant. Do not trust yourselves, because the enemies lie in wait, and even when spiritually, they do not have strength, you are considering them powerful and imagining them invincible. Why do I judge you, people? Because I do not want there to be faults and hidden errors in your heart, because I will put you before those who will receive my message from you, and I do not want them to find something to correct you, because you would not honor your master in this way. What would become of you, if I hid your imperfections from you? Would you regenerate yourself in life if your faults did not have painful consequences? See how much pain there is among humanity, that is the fruit of your sowing. I speak to you through your conscience to move you to repentance and amendment, but your heart has become deaf to my voice. Men who govern the destinies of your peoples, aren't you tired of blood and lives lost? Do you not listen to the voice of conscience or reason? You are arrogant and proud, but my justice will bring down your pride. You are proud, because with your science you have built the new Tower of Babel from where you challenge my power, telling the peoples that your knowledge surpasses divine revelations. With this you have trampled on the law of the Father and you have falsified the word of Jesus, fearing that the truth be known, thereby losing the glory and power of the earth. I have let your tower rise and your science grow, to ask you, who has given you the right to dispose of the lives of your fellow men? Who has allowed you to shed their blood? Who, in short, failing in what is fair, should stand in the way of the destiny of their own brothers? Humanity, daughter of light, open your eyes. See that you are living the era of the Spirit. Why have you forgotten me and wanted to compare your power with mine? I tell you that the day a wise man with his science forms a being similar to you and endows him with spirit and gives him consciousness, I will place my scepter in his hand. But your harvest, for now, will be different. On corpses and debris science will build its kingdom, which will be very brief, so that later the kingdom of justice, peace and love will be established. I will come looking for those who have fallen in the fight, those who have lost their way, those who have been taught a different path. I will look for them to raise them to true life, without distinguishing anyone, depositing my kiss of love, the same on the clean forehead, as on the stained one. The Father speaks to you, the one who has no one to bow down to pray, but in truth I tell you, that if someone greater existed over me, I would bow before him, because humility dwells in my spirit. See how you, being my little babies, make me descend so that I speak to you, listen to you and comfort you, instead of struggling to ascend to me. My arcane has opened for you, and the time is coming when you will love the truth and flee from the fictitious and empty life that you have created. The splendor of the materialistic era will soon begin its decline to enter its final period. Today you understand little of what I tell you, but soon everyone will understand. How could you not speak of materializing your life, if you even conceive the divine only through the material, giving credit only to what you perceive through your senses? I have been misrepresented on earth by those who claim to know me, and this is the reason that many have turned their backs on me. I will not complain to those who call themselves atheists for having thrown me out of their hearts, but to those who, falsifying the truth, have shown a God that many have not been able to accept. Everything that is fair, healthy and good, contains truth, which is what I have proclaimed through the ages. The time has come when you must love the truth again, that is, when you will once again recognize what is just and what is good, since having been born from me, you will have to aspire to the elevated, the eternal, the pure. I have not held anyone captive, I have forced no one to abandon the path they have chosen. To those who have wanted to scrutinize, I have allowed it, to those who have wanted to enjoy themselves, I have allowed it, but I have shown them all my law, the only one, so that they do not lose their way. What lies at the end of the path that humanity mistakenly follows today, what man will find when he reaches that goal will be boredom, fatigue, disappointment and pain. Will the human spirit be able to settle for a harvest like that, and will that be the fruit that it delivers to its Father in eternity? No, people, the human spirit is going to wake up before the result of his works, and in that hour, he will be his own judge, so that, after that judgment, he will rise up full of strength to restore and rebuild his life, taking advantage of his experience and consecrating himself to love and seek only the truth. Then he will have found the path where he will hear my voice, which tells him, "You are welcome, O patient and prudent Israel, who in the third era has reached the land of peace. I have come to seek you and I say, let the Spirit rise and behold me. I am the same, time does not pass over me, I am the Master who in many places and roads of Judea, spoke to you about the eternal kingdom of truth. Instead, you have changed. The selfishness and wickedness of the world has poisoned your heart and you sometimes feel unworthy of my presence. I have come because I love you, and I want you to mend your steps and fight for your spiritual advancement. Do not waste the time I give you. Watch and pray, and I will tell you how you must work. Love and you will have joy, cultivate peace, and you will feel that life on earth is a reflection of the eternal mansion. Think that I have not come to give you material riches, but to invite you to lead a spiritual life of renunciation and humility. And once again I tell you, whoever wants to follow me, take up his cross and come after me. That cross will not be heavy if you know how to carry it with patience and strength, making sure that you will no longer be able to live without it, to the point that if its light weight were to be removed from you, you would ask me to place it on you again even if you were to feel it greater than before. It is because you will have understood the seriousness of the charge that I have entrusted to you, and that this cross represents your salvation. If I have formed everything created on earth for man's recreation, always take it for your benefit. Do not forget that there is a voice within you that indicates the limits within which you can take what nature offers you, and it is that inner voice that you must obey. Just as you seek a home, shelter, sustenance and satisfaction for your body to make its existence more pleasant, so you must grant the spirit what is necessary for its well-being and progress. If it feels attracted to higher regions where it finds its true home, let it rise, do not imprison it, because it seeks me to feed and strengthen itself. I tell you that every time you allow it to free itself like this, it will happily return to its envelope. In this way you will prepare yourselves to comply with the laws of the Spirit and those that govern life on earth. I feed all beings, and if I have told you, the birds do not sow or reap, nor spin, and are fed and clothed with so much love, why do you, who are the favorite son, doubt me? In the midst of the struggle for daily sustenance, do not forget that there is a Father who watches over you and who will never let you perish. I also tell you that if you observed my precepts, your fight would be less painful, because so much effort on your part would not be necessary to survive, and in the hour of your trials you would see prodigies. In the first era, the people of Israel went through great hardships, and Moses, contemplating the desperation that was taking over the multitudes due to lack of bread, said to them, "Pray, the Lord will send food to serve to his people." Moses prayed and waited with patience and faith for the divine will. And the manna, as a response and as a reward for the faith of that man, descended to calm the needs of the people. With it I declared that I had heard his prayer and that I was with him. Now I have told my people that the tests will touch them again, that the pain will be great among humanity, and that bread will not be enough to feed men, that the earth, today fertile, for a time will become barren, and that you will see everywhere, pain, hunger and corruption. Caravans of men and women will go from door to door, begging for charity. The cup will be very bitter, but if you know how to pray, there will be bread on your table and comfort for you and for your brothers. With prayer and charity, you will attract the spirits of good, who will protect you. If you want to feel very close to me, you will prepare yourselves and have me presiding over your table. You will not lack what is necessary, and you will cause your brothers to participate in the same grace. Do you not have enough love to protect your fellow men in the hour of trial? Just as I have come to you, you will go to your brothers and do with them what I have done with you. Once again I tell you, that by a small portion of servants who rise up with true cleanliness to spread my teaching, my work will be known and will be established in the hearts of those who will later be my precursors in all nations. Science has not taken root in you, I see you humble, and that is why I have chosen you. I have given you my word, so that you possess true science, because the knowledge that men have cannot cure the evil that afflicts humanity. That light, that science of which man is so proud, neither converts hearts nor saves spirits. My word, which now flows abundantly through the mouthpieces, you will not hear it after 1950 in this form. Only those who rise with true preparation will receive my inspiration, and when they speak on my behalf, they will be believed. Preparation and spirituality is what your mission requires to be able to perform prodigies. Whenever I have taken you as an instrument to heal a sick person, I have taken into account your preparation. You will not always have to exert yourself too much to persuade your brothers of this truth, because you will find that many will feel faith from the first moment, and others will humbly confess that it has been the essence of my word, which has healed them. You will concentrate in the depths of your heart, forming with the union of your thoughts a single spirit, so that your prayer, as if it were crystal clear water, falls at the foot of this bush that you are cultivating. The bush becomes a tree corpulent and gives you abundant fruits with which you feed in the time of trials. Do not fear for not being able to receive me among pomp and finery or with royal ceremonies. Your humility and simplicity are the best environment that you can prepare for my manifestation. I want spirits, because they are the ones I am looking for whom I descended into the world in another time, and for whom I gave you my blood. I was the one who appointed at that time the place and time for my advent as a man. I have also marked the place and the time in which I would come among men in the third era. Everything was prepared with perfect justice and wisdom. A new land was to witness my new coming, the west was to be illuminated by the splendor of my presence. Listen, long ago in the north of your lands there lived a great tribe, from which a prophet inspired by my light arose. He raised up and led that people after a beautiful land, where they should found their city. Faced with such a pleasant promise, those tribes rose in the hope of deserving that grace. They crossed jungles, crossed deserts and climbed mountains, nothing stopped them, and when they encountered obstacles, their faith helped them overcome them until they reached the prophesied place, which was, as in the first era, an image of Canaan, the promised land, to the Israelites, the land that flowed milk and honey. See how the leaf of the tree does not move without my will, and how nothing is foreign to my designs and divine plans. That tribe, inspired by the faith of a promise that came to see fulfilled, raised its city, and in it raised its primitive worship to its God, formed its homes and gave splendor to its empire, which in its magnificence resembled the of Solomon. That land was, according to the promises, a land of bonanza and prosperity. The man was strong, the woman kind and tender, and both were beautiful, but the time came when that people would know the name and the work of Christ, their Lord, the good news reaching them on the lips of strange men who came from across the sea and whom they had already seen in dreams. Very great was the mission of those who brought the light of my doctrine to these lands, but in truth I tell you that there were very few who knew how to comply with the law of love, charity and humanity, which my teachings advised, because most of those men allowed themselves to be possessed by greed, forgetting all principles of fraternity, making torrents of innocent blood, to take possession of what their eyes contemplated. The invaders demolished the idols of that people, causing them to blaspheme against the God that they came to reveal to them with such injustice and cruelty. Could those idolaters recognize through such inhuman acts Christ, the God of love, the one who takes no one's life, but first gives his own to save the very one who has offended him? Those tribes fell under the slavery and domination of the fort, as in the first era Israel had fallen under the yoke of pharaohs and Caesars. Those were times of pain, of bitterness and of tears, those that came upon that people, and it was then that their cry, resounding in the heavens, fell upon them like a mantle of infinite tenderness, the love of Mary, the sweet mother of the universe. Because of their sensitivity, these people were destined to be Marian, because by recognizing and loving that divine truth, they found the spiritual ladder that leads the spirits to me. And that place, what is it? It is yours, which after its struggles and its long journey has contemplated the arrival of the third era, with my new coming. It is my living word that you are listening to, so that with it you may destroy all the fanaticism and all the idolatry that you have surrounded my name, teaching you a worship through which you can seek me from spirit to spirit. This people will be very great and strong in spirit when they live and practice the worship that I have been teaching them. Then they will be able to abolish lies and take to other lands the message of spirituality and light that the nations expect. This people will be prepared for that fight in which my justice will preside over the great battle of ideas, creeds and doctrines. Everyone will be surprised when in the midst of the whirlwind they hear a serene and firm voice that will be that of my disciples, fulfilling their mission of spiritual brotherhood. For now, understand that as long as men do not achieve complete spirituality, they will have to need material temples, and place before their eyes forms or images that make them feel my presence. The degree of spirituality or materialism of humanity, you can measure it by the form of its worship. The materialist looks for me in the things of the earth, and if he does not get to see me according to his wishes, he represents me in some way to believe that he has me before him. The one who conceives me as spirit, feels me inside and outside of him and in everything that surrounds him, because he has become my own temple. From time to time I have given you more and more advanced revelations that men have not known how to understand, because they have always created idolatries and more idolatries around them. In that second era I told my disciples, do you see how great, majestic and opulent is the temple of Jerusalem? Because of it not a stone will be left on a stone. My word was fulfilled, because all the idolatry and profanation that was done in it, I erased with my doctrine. I promised to rebuild it in 3 days, which is fulfilled precisely in this third era, in which I come to raise in the heart of humanity the new temple, the new sanctuary built in the purest of the human spirits. Recognize my fatherly mercy, seeing how, when the altar of your idolatry collapses, my word is already waiting for you, and a new light is illuminating your way, so as not to let you fall into darkness. Do not be amazed or shocked if I say to you, that all the splendor of your religions will disappear, and that, when that happens, the spiritual table will be ready where the multitudes hungry for love and truth will come to feed themselves. Many men, hearing these words, will deny that they are mine, but then I will ask them why they are indignant and what they defend. Their lives? That I defend. My law? That I also watch over. Fear not, that no one will die because of me, only evil will die, because good, truth and justice will prevail eternally. People, what voice is this that you hear in the depths of your heart? To what paths does it lead you and why do you seek it? I know why you follow me, it is that you know that the voice you hear is that of your God, of the one whom through time and your evolution you have sought in many forms. You all know that this voice, which reaches the depths of your being, is that of your Father, because he treats you like sons and daughters, like children, with perfect love. I come to show myself as a loving father, as a humble teacher, never indifferent to your sufferings and always lenient and merciful before your imperfections, because you will always be children before me. I have to judge you when I contemplate how the beings that were formed with so much love, and destined for eternal life, obstinately anticipate to death on earth, without worrying about spiritual life, nor wishing to know the perfections that existence reserves for you. Study my word, so that you know that my law is in it, and that therefore, it is the King's word that never goes back. You must not go back on the road either, if you take into account that you carry in your spirit my word which is law, and that your body is inferior to your spirit. Therefore, listen more to the voice of conscience, in which I am present, and not the voice of the flesh. My divine word descends on your spirit and you feel full of spiritual essence, but, if this word were false, your spirit would never feel satisfied after hearing it, nor would you meet again to wait for it with the avidity with which you are doing. I am the dawn that has begun a new time for humanity, in which your spirit will see the path that leads to me illuminated. Do you happen to know what rung of the ladder of perfection you are on? Do you know if you are spiritually elevated or submerged in the kingdom of evil? Truly I tell you that none of you could answer these questions satisfactorily. Do not think that while your spirit, because it is incarnated, inhabits the earth, it will have to confine itself to living the material existence. No, all of you must know that from your terrestrial home you can spiritually inhabit the regions of light, where the kingdom is that you will come to inhabit eternally. The spirit on earth is only sustained by a weak point of support that is the body, which serves to inhabit the world and receive through it the lessons or tests that the Father sees fit to send it. However long and painful the atonement may be in the world, you must never consider it as a prison. No one has been sentenced to death. Instead, I tell you that all of you have been destined to live. Each being, when born to life, received from the Creator a kiss that was an antidote against evil and a shield against threats. I am the cause of your existence, so recognize that your origin is in the good. If your past on earth has been impure, sinful or in any way far from my laws, let your conscience shine, emerging to a new life, and leaving behind the path in which the abuse of material pleasures resulted in you falling into vice and pain. Seek in the example that through Jesus I gave you, the luminous path for your spirit, because my steps on earth, my works and my word, were the perfect lesson and the parable of eternal life that I bequeath to the spirit of humanity. I leave you anointed with my balm and my forgiveness. Know me, O children, because the knowledge you have of me is still very small. What I tell you in a lecture is not all that I have to reveal to you. Come tirelessly towards me and the book of life will be opened before your eyes. You have already received the first testament, my law and my presence in the time of Moses. You already had in the second era the second testament, bequeathed by Christ to men through his divine word. Now receive the third testament directly from my spirit, so that, uniting the three revelations, you can become the great disciples of the third era. People, listening to me, you transport yourselves and contemplate my presence in a spiritual gaze. It is not your senses that contemplate me in that vision, nor is it a mirage of your imagination, it is the faith with which you are hearing me, it is your spirituality in elevation of this moment. Here you feel my peace, but how close to you are those who create pain? They are the ambitious ones who, in order to be crowned, do not hesitate to kill their brothers. Get ready to fight, so that you will soon know that you should not go after high places of false foundations, because divine justice destroys everything that is vain. Sick people, come to me, I come to heal you. The hungry know that I am waiting for them. The murderer, through whose veins runs hatred, come to me, I will transform your confusion into light and his bitterness into good flavor. Come all to hear me and prepare your spirit, because after 1950 the splendor of the reign of light will begin. Today you are just seed, tomorrow you will be plants and finally you will bear fruits of love. My peace be with you.